Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is Energy Speaks Podcast with your host, Catriel. We have a very special guest on today. Her name is Duyen Ngo. Dr. Duyen Ngo.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing good, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely.
This is pretty exciting. It's my second podcast, but it's like a legit one, so.
I wonder what that means.
I mean, it seems so fancy here with all the headphones and microphones.
It's pretty fun. I love it. It's
Yeah.
a very creative space.
Yeah, really, it is.
Thank you, Envision, for allowing this to be possible. I don't get to say that on every podcast, and I'm very appreciative of this space. But please, okay, first of all, I'm going to give you a little backstory, listeners. I recently have been going to Dr. Ngo. Last year, my chiropractor that I had my entire life passed away. And when I was seeking, a chiropractor, I happened to actually get a job at the Violet Butterfly. And the owner, Michelle, literally told me about this awesome chiropractor. And I was like, okay, please tell me more. And how unique of a chiropractor, she was. And so I've been going to her for
Almost a year now, I think.
Are you serious?
I think so.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, clearly.
Not quite, but almost. Probably like 10 months of it. So.
Wow. Time flies when you're having fun.
We've been having a lot of fun.
It's never a dull moment when I come to the chiropractor.
Yes.
But I would love for you to speak on the particular type of chiropractic you offer to this community that, it's not found everywhere.
It really isn't. I'm sure when you're thinking chiropractic, you're thinking you're getting your neck twist, cracked, and popped, right? And that's typically what a lot of people think when they hear the word chiropractic. Where what I do, we don't do any of those type of manipulation. It's very gentle. It's a sound wave frequency that I use to realign the atlas bone. And so, the way it works is because the atlas is such a unique bone. The atlas is the very top bone in your neck, and it's kind of what holds your head in place. And so that's where the majority of your range of motion is, where you're able to bend your head forward and backward and turn it from side to side. So it doesn't have the same bony structures that locks it into place. Because if it did, you wouldn't have that range of motion. But then again, the only thing that's really holding that area in place are muscles and ligaments. So whenever there's trauma and injuries involved, and in your case, Kevin, you were involved in a motor vehicle accident. Mm-hmm. And if you think about a whiplash injury, that's just one example, but that whiplash injury can definitely create a shift in that atlas vertebrae. And the issue there is because that's where your brainstem is first coming out of your skull, becoming your spinal cord, and it's the spinal cord coming all the way down. Whenever there's nerve impingement at that very top bone, what happens is you're just losing nerve function at the very top down to the rest of the body. Mm-hmm. So then these nerves, and keep in mind, your nervous system is what controls everything, even though you don't hear about it that much. Your nervous system controls everything that goes on in the body. So if the nerves are being pinched on at the very top, you're not getting nerve function down, meaning that the muscles are not going to be functioning properly, and that leads to aches, pains, and dysfunction. So that's why that's my primary focus at my office, is to get the atlas bone in so that you're getting proper nerve function to the body, because everybody wants that, right?
Very true.
So the way we work with that area is I take 3-dimensional x-rays to see how exactly that bone shifted out of alignment, because there's so many different patterns of misalignment. It's as unique as a fingerprint or thumbprint. Everybody has their own type of misalignment, and because we're looking at like which side it shifted off to laterally, how it rotated, how many degrees it rotated, unique bone structures, because not every bone is formed the same way. So that all plays a role. And then once I see exactly how the bone shifted, then I know what type of position I need to get the patient in to get them back in line, how many degrees of, moving your head, neck, and shoulders, how to get things right, how to get the instrument lined up to that atlas bone. And then once everything's lined up perfectly, the adjustment is a sound wave frequency that shifts the bone back in. And so patients don't feel anything from it. It's a little click, and then you're done. And then the rest of it is just pretty much holding the alignment, because once the bone slides in, it's taking pressure off of the nerves. So even though you don't feel anything from it, at that point, the nerves are healing, and you're regaining nerve flow down to the rest of the body. And so it's so important after a correction to take it easy and rest to make sure it holds in place. So like a lot of patients tell me, a lot of them are just with their very first adjustment, they're like, what did you do? Did you do anything? Because you're so used to the crack and pop, right? So when you don't get that crack and pop and you just hear a noise, it's hard to believe that that little sound was what moved anything. But then later that day, they'll go home and then they'll feel all sorts of changes throughout the body. And they're like, oh, yeah, that little machine packed a mean punch. And so and that's a good sign, because everything's moving around in the body. Things are kind of shifting back in place. Your nerves are waking up, firing, functioning better. And there's a little transitional phase after getting adjusted, but once that transition calms down, things are more stable, and that's when you're getting the results. You're getting much better after that. You're not in as much pain, or function is restored. So every case is different, but the whole goal is to make sure that area stays in line, the atlas bone stays in line, so that these nerves can heal.
Yeah, with going there, it's really brought a lot back into alignment in my life. We talk about alignment all the time on the podcast and stuff, and it's really unique to see how the physical bones, being in perfect alignment, can also equate to our physical lives. And going into my experience there, I really like the little machine, because I can literally, for myself, because I'm really in tune with stuff, I can literally feel the very intricacies of when it's out of alignment to where it shifts back into alignment. And it's so interesting how one bone at the very top of your, neck literally can play, the whole rest of the scenes out. It sets the stage in a sense.
Yeah. It's, if you want to think of it if you're tech savvy, you think about computers, hard drives. It's almost like your brain is the hard drive to your body. And so if one of the wires are disconnected, then let's say the wire to the monitor, for example, isn't, if there's a kink there, or if it's not working properly, then you're not getting that proper connection to the monitor. Same thing with the mouse or the keyboard. That's kind of like that, where the hard drive is your nervous system. So if anything is happening with the nervous system, that part of the nerve that is being pinched on, whatever part of the body is going to, you're not getting function there. So then, if the nerve's going to your low back, which the spinal cord at the very top, it goes down to everything, every part of your body. Yeah. So if nerves are pinched at the top, then you're just losing nerve function down. Versus if you had a pinched nerve in your low back that where the nerve's going down to your legs, then people can get like back pain and sciatic nerve pain. I'm sure you've heard of that, but that's at that level. But nerves pinched at the top is just interfering with everything down because your brain's like the hard drive.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I've noticed that, throughout my existence at least, when my neck, when that top bone is out, I almost feel like my connection with my thinking is out of whack. Like I literally can't process things.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. A lot of people do experience symptoms like that, even though a lot of people don't come in for that particular reason. Typically what people come in for is pain. Pain is what typically drives people to see a chiropractor. When they come in, they may have headaches or neck pain or back pain. And then one of the things that I hear over time is when their back pain resolve, it's like, oh, my brain, I'm thinking much clearer, like that brain fog is gone, or, the dizziness is gone, or, I'm actually connecting the dots or the words, So it's definitely something that can help with the overall system. But that is one thing that I hear a lot about, and then eventually at some point, people don't even really think about the pain too much. It's like, oh, my brain I have foggy brain, like I must be out of alignment. And so they'll come in and get checked for that. I have patients that, have different businesses, and they like an accountant that handles a lot of clients' money. And so he has to be sharp and on point every day. And so if he has a little bit of brain fog, first thing he'll do is call and come in just to make sure that, it's not his alignment. But that's definitely something that can happen. And it's not just nerve function. You also have blood circulation as well. In that area, you have those arteries that supplies blood to your brain stem, your cerebellum. So I know we talked about nerves being pinched on, but if the atlas bone is out of alignment, it's also going to put pressure on the arteries, and that can affect blood supply going up into the brain, which typically people can get like headaches as a result of it. But, lack of oxygen to the brain definitely can lead to brain fog as well.
Yeah. Wow. Like, other thing that I notice, as you know, I've been going on a lot of journeys.
Yes. I'm kind of like jealous because you're always leaving for trips. And I was like, take me with you.
I love that. But like when I go through a lot of energy when I'm on the trips. If you think about, for instance, going into Miami, for instance, the first thing I felt was all of this heaviness, right? Mm-hmm. And I could feel it pressing on, even energetically on my bone structures, Yes. And then going to a mountain, right?
Yes.
Where it's alleviated. But going through energy in general, it moves, your structural system.
Yeah.
And so when I came back, I've noticed as I've, we got the atlas back in its alignment, in its space. But there are, I think I mentioned this the last time, kind of it's layers.
Yeah. Like you're peeling an onion each time you come in.
Yeah.
Because when you go out of town, you're gone for a long time, and I don't know what you do to your body. But, when you come back, you're quite a hot mess. Sorry, lack of a better word.
Oh, I can feel it.
So it's every time you come in, it's just kind of getting you in alignment, and then adjusting the other parts of your body, and it's just like a healing phase for you, just to let the body calm down, allowing the nerves to heal so that you're getting better and better each time. But when you're out of alignment, the longer you stay out of alignment, the longer the nerves are being pinched on, so the worse the symptoms can get. So over time, it's like a healing phase. And when you're holding your adjustment for a longer period of time, obviously these nerves are healing. So every time we're coming in, it's more like a tune-up of getting your body tuned up so that you're getting better and better.
Hey guys, we're cars. We're vehicles. Vehicles of light.
Your body is like a vehicle if you think about it, but you're stuck with this one. You can't trade it for any other vehicle. So you want to make sure you're treating this vehicle really nice and give it the necessary oil change.
Yes. Okay, guys. New term. We are now, instead of going to the chiropractor, we are doing oil changes for our body. That's amazing. I love it.
Oil change, tune up, alignment,
For reals though. Like I've always kind of looked at, I'm not even a car guy really. And I've kind of always looked at it that way, and the other thing that I've noticed that works really in tandem with it is if you have a really good massage therapist, because it's like you can get that structural, aspect, but also get to deeper layers within. And sometimes that'll, I don't know if I will say speed up the process, but it will guide the process, to for healing. I don't know how to explain it exactly.
Yeah, well, massage is helping to loosen up the muscles. If you're getting an actual real deep tissue massage, not let's just have a nice relaxing massage. But the purpose of the massage, or the purpose should be to loosen up the muscles so that you're getting better mobility, better range of motion, getting the knots out, breaking up the adhesions and the tension in there. I do have a massage therapist in my office. He does a good job, but a lot of times I do have to send patients over to him to get things loosened up, because sometimes the muscles can be so tight that it's just pulling the spine out of alignment. So when he gets in there and massage those muscles and loosen it up, patients do hold their alignment a lot better. So it is, I would say it is necessary for the body. I would say it's part of, the tune-up for your car.
Funny enough, I didn't know there was a massage therapist in there. Good news. I was looking for one.
And there you go.
I just found out that mine just moved out west.
Well, now you know where to find another one.
Hey, I love when things are convenient. But do you have, for our listeners, because I've often wondered this, is there a way you should do it? Should you go to the chiropractor first or to the massage therapist first? Or does it matter?
It does make a difference. Going to the chiropractor, because what we do is take pressure off of nerves, removing the misalignment that's creating nerve impingement. And you got to keep in mind your nervous system controls everything that goes on in the body. So it controls your muscles. So when your nerves are pinched on, it is going to be super active. It is going to create muscle contraction. The nerves go into muscles, so it's going to contract, and it's going to tighten up and spasm, So when you're getting in alignment first, you're allowing those nerves to heal. You're allowing the nerves to be calm so that it's not overstimulating your muscles. So when your muscles are much calmer, you may not even need a massage afterwards. But in some cases, if you're working out, if you're stressed, then your muscles can just naturally tense up due to, life. And so that's when massage comes in handy. But if you're getting massage, it can help in the short term. Long term wise, if the nerves are still pinched on, then the muscles will tighten back up. That's one of the things I hear a lot about is I get massage once a week or once every 2 weeks, sometimes even twice a week. And it helps a lot. But then the next day I'm tight again, and And a lot of times they'll notice the difference after getting in alignment. Their muscles are so much more relaxed. And then when they see their massage therapist afterwards, their muscles are able to stay relaxed for a much longer length of time instead of, spasming up the next day. And a lot of these massage therapists that I work with, they can tell a difference because they have to work a lot harder when someone's out of alignment versus when they're in alignment. It's less work that they have to do to get a knot to loosen up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
One other question with that, because I've always wondered this as well. Say I go to you for chiropractic. Mm-hmm. Is there a certain period of time before, if I choose to go to the massage, should I wait a day? Should I wait 2 days? Or can it be right immediate? Does it matter?
If you're a brand new patient, then I would have you wait for a couple weeks. Okay? Because I don't know if you remember your very first adjustment, but typically the very first Atlas adjustment, it hits you. Your body is going through a lot. Because keep in mind, you could have been out of alignment for, 5, 10, 15 years. And so with that very first adjustment, and you're getting better nerve function to the rest of the body, these nerves are waking up and they're firing, because if your nerves has been pinched on, you're going to have either hyperactive nerves or hypoactive nerves. So the hyperactive nerves are the ones that are just constantly stimulated, and as they're firing, they're creating the muscle spasm. Then you have the hypoactive nerves, which are not working. And so when they're not working, the muscles are just not being stimulated at all. So typically after an adjustment, those nerves that have not been working, they start to fire up, and they are stimulating muscles. So a lot of times patients do feel a little soreness, like they did a workout after an adjustment, but it does, it's quite a transition after the first Atlas correction. Because your body's going through so much. And when it's going through that, you want to just let it take its course, because you don't know if the muscles are tight because your nerves are waking up firing, or if those muscles are just really tight because you could have done something to strain that muscle. So you want to give it a little time to settle in, because sometimes it can get tight and it'll go away. Sometimes if it sticks, then that means it's more so the muscle that's just tight, and then you want to get it massaged. But usually when it's the very first adjustment, patients do wait a couple weeks before getting massage. But when you've been in alignment and you're coming in for care, then you can get massage more regularly. And if you have to get adjusted, typically patients bounce back right away because their body has only been out of alignment for a short period of time, not for years. So at that point, if they're getting massage, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Gotcha. Wow. Thank you for clarifying a lot of that, because I feel like, we can overuse something.
Yes.
And I always love to do things by intention,
Yeah.
And if we kind of know the formula for it, it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, because you don't want to keep trying to chase different techniques, trying to figure out what works for you, what doesn't. Massage, everybody loves massage, but if you're going to a massage therapist because you're in constant pain and just looking for some form of relief, that's one of the things I hear is, I go all the time and it helps temporarily, but then it's nothing long term. So usually I do get a lot of referrals from different massage therapists, and they can feel the difference of someone being in alignment and out. And typically if they're out of alignment, they just don't, to them it's like, what's the point? Because I can massage you today, but if you're out of alignment, your muscles are going to still be tight tomorrow. So, and usually they'll say, go to the chiropractor, get adjusted, and then come back. Because it makes a huge difference in their muscle tone.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah.
So what got you on this journey to be a chiropractor?
Well, to be a chiropractor, I was involved in 2 really bad car accidents, not my fault. I was the passenger, but they were pretty bad, and I was a kid at that time, so seat belts weren't exactly enforced during those times. Wow. So both accidents, I did not wear seat belts. I pretty much flew around the car. I was in the back seat for both of them, and one was my friend rear-ended someone going about 45, 50 miles an hour, and I wasn't paying attention because my head was down. I was looking at pictures, and I didn't even know what happened. All of a sudden, I feel like her braking really quick, and then next thing I know, I'm flying forward, hitting the driver's seat, flying backwards, flying off to the side. It was a serious whiplash injury. The accident before that, some guy pulled up in front of my sister. So she T-boned him, but he was crossing the intersection when he should have stayed at the stoplight or stop sign. And then again, I didn't really see it because I was in the back seat. And then